Maresca, please. You've taken the team so far this season. Can you please make substitutions before we give up points? Oh, let's talk about Chelsea, Crystal Palace 1-1. It's becoming just the story of the season for us to just be unable to hold on to 1-0 wins, giving up late goals, just completely losing composure at the end of the game when we should be pushing. That's when our passing gets the loosest, when even our best player starts making mistakes. Oh my God, just it's so frustrating. And I feel like the most frustrating part is like everyone who was watching that game could see that coming from a mile away. Basically from the beginning of the second half, we had warning after warning after warning. Crystal Palace were pushing. They were playing better. They were creating more chances. We really only had one shot on goal that we managed to score from, but the rest just wasted chances, man, again and again. And I'm sorry, in the Premier League, if you don't take your chances, you're gonna get caught. Oh my God. But let's start with the positives. Number one, I like the starting lineup. Josh Achimpong, we've been asking to see him, this 19-year-old phenom that Real Madrid wanted. Finally got him on a new 5-year contract. I wanted to see him play, and I have to say, he did not disappoint. Number one, dude is big. You can tell he is big. He's athletic. You can immediately tell why teams have their eyes open. Second, he's technically very good. He's positionally pretty damn good, pretty aware. He's got long legs, good tackling. He can run out with the ball. His long range passing, I would say, needs a little bit of work today from the number of times that he tried to get the ball over the top, over to Jackson, and it was way too overhit. But things like that can be worked on over time. Like you can see the building blocks there. You can see this guy has immense talent. And you know what? I'd much rather see him start the next few games instead of Tosin, for sure. I think he needs more game time. He needs to build his confidence. He needs time. He needs actual chemistry built up with the team, and you can only really get that during game day. So it was incredibly good to see him. Second positive, I thought first half we were amazing. We created chance after chance after chance towards the Crystal Palace box. We had so many box penetrations. It didn't matter whether it was on the right side with Neto, through the middle with Palmer, on the left with Sancho and Cucurella, and sometimes Palmer overlapping and Enzo on that side too. It was all great. The only downside is we should have scored more. I mean, just the amount of chances that we had. Palmer had a great first goal. Amazing dummy move by Sancho to run onto the ball. And then he took on 3 players, beat them all, gave a really nice, neat little pass to Palmer, who took a perfect first touch with his left foot, bottom corner, no chance for the goalie. Fantastic goal. And then again, we needed to capitalize on it. And I thought we did. And we created plenty of chances. Neto had one great break on the right side. If he just hit the ball just a little bit better to Palmer, Palmer made it like just a lung-busting sprint towards the middle of the box, wide open, just a slightly overhit cross, and he couldn't get his foot onto it. Could he have anticipated it? Maybe. But, when you're running at that speed, full sprint, there's not much you can do apart from just try to hit that ball when it's coming to you. And it was just overhit by Neto. And then Jackson, my God, dude, just the amount of chances he had. He had really good hold that play today. He had really good running towards the defense, but just number of chances that Palmer broke through, would pass to him. He had chances on the right side of the box, from the center of the box. He had chances on the left side of the box. His best chance was second half. A really good counter press move by Caicedo, who got the ball to him. Jackson had the ball on the left side of the box. Just all he needed to do was to hit the bottom corner, and of course, he dragged it wide. He also had 2 open players to aim for it. I think Neto and Enzo were both open, but to be honest, he had to shoot from that position, and he didn't. And that's just Nicholas Jackson. Sometimes he's really good. Sometimes he's missing these very easy striker chances. And I thought the biggest thing today was Mark Guiu and Madueke needed to come on a good 20, 30 minutes earlier. It wasn't so much that Jackson was having a bad game. He was just missing too many chances. And you could tell the second Guiu came on, his energy, his tenacity, his pressing, just his box presence immediately changed the game. He pressed the defenders well. He made them make mistakes. if he were just on for more time, I felt like he could have gotten into good positions and maybe even had a shot or two. Who knows? We never know because, just giving him 10 minutes at the end of the game is not much for him to show his class. And even with that time, you could already tell he was impacting the game in a really positive way. Another issue that I'm starting to notice, which is as world class as Palmer is on his left foot, he does rely on it a lot, even in positions where it makes sense for him to maybe make a turn, make a pass with his right foot. He doesn't do it. It always comes back onto the left side. And, he's not the only player who's one footed. Yeah, Iron Robin, incredibly one footed, but unstoppable. Salah, also pretty one footed, but, he doesn't completely rely on that foot too. He is just as technically gifted on his right. He's just not as confident on it. And so he really masks that well and he protects the ball really well just with his left alone. And he's honestly so good with his left that it doesn't matter. You cannot stop Salah. He can do whatever he wants with the ball. But with Palmer, there are moments where it doesn't matter how close or far you are from him. That first touch from his left foot is so goddamn good that there's just nothing you can do about it. But there are instances where, I feel like with his quality, he should be taking it on his right just to give the defender something else to think about, just to make it a little bit harder to close him off. And today, at the worst part of the game, second half, at the very end, he received the ball from a break. Again, bad touch, lost the ball when everyone else was pushed up, and there's just not much we could do. Gusto was floundering on the right. Eze was wide open. I thought Eze should have taken that shot, and of course, he crossed it over to Mateta, who, I think it was Cucurella who was marking him, and it was not really in a position to stop the shot. And it was just, there was nothing Sanchez could do. There's nothing we do. We gave a ball in a really bad spot. Everybody was pushed up. Nobody was back in defense. It is what it is. But again, I felt like it was highly preventable. Like you could see that coming from like minute 50 on. We could see that coming. And I felt like we were just hanging on, making last second challenges. So another disappointing 2 points lost. We are really starting to draw back in the table. Like we went from being fully comfortable in the top four to now it is a solid fight to just be in the top four. And honestly, that's not where I want to be. I felt like we earned our place in top four by how well we performed the first half of the season, but now we have to keep it up. We are definitely going through a bad stretch. This is on the manager and on the players to get themselves out of it, because sooner or later we need to come out of this funk that we're in. We have come out of this stretch of very winnable games, and we're starting to drop points. And now we're about to go into a stretch of harder games. Newcastle is coming up. United are horrendous, so let's not talk about them. Arsenal is coming up. These teams that were looking a little bit shaky in that first half of the season, they're starting to pick up too. Even City, they're starting to pick up points again. And we're about to face them at the end of the month. So it's not going to be an easy path to top four, it seems, which is kind of disappointing to say, but it is what it is. It's the league. It's highly competitive. No team at the top is ever going to stay down for the entire season. And we just have to get ourselves out of this. And I think that starts with the manager. He's got to anticipate problems before they happen. He's got to read the flow of the game a little bit better. If I can tell on TV that we are putting ourselves under way too much risk, way too much pressure, that changes need to be made, come on, you've got to be able to tell that from the pitch side, and you've got to make those changes sooner. Another positive of mine would have been, I was about to compliment the defense. I felt like Colwell, Cucurella, especially Sancho for tracking back for the majority of the game. No matter how many times we lost the ball on that side, he was there to cover Cucurella. I thought that was fantastic work by him. Caicedo running back, covering space as he always does. Malagusto, I thought, had a really good last-second challenge on Eze in the box in the second half. Would have been an easy shot for Eze if not for Gusto's tremendous tackle from behind to get the ball. So easy to make that mistake and to give up a penalty, but he didn't. I felt like Josh Antropon, he had a really good last-second block in the second half as well. And overall, he just looked very comfortable, very fit. Colwell, I thought, was really good, showed his leadership in the back. But again, it's hard to give them full compliments because we still gave up a fucking last second goal. It's just, it's so frustrating. Those goals just they're just like a huge kick in the nuts. It always feels like it's a loss at the end. My God, like we have to stop giving up points from winning positions late in the game. We just have to stop. This feels like last season, the season before, all over again. We just could not hold on to points for the life of God. And yeah, we just need to come out of this. And I feel like the one way to pass it is to make earlier substitutions, give us some fresh legs, calm the team down, right? And then just gain some experience from this, really pound it into them. Be like, hey, if we're 1-0 ahead, maybe we don't need to all push ahead, right? Maybe we just need to keep the ball a little bit and not make stupid passing mistakes. Simple, right? It sounds so simple, but I understand this is what happens when you have a really young team who are so gung-ho about getting that second goal and winning that you forget the basics of just making good passes, not making mistakes, protecting each other, and most important of all, not giving up the ball in dangerous places where we are, where then we look very shaky on the break. Anyways, last positive, give it out to Sanchez. He had one just ridiculous pass out to Gusto where he could just roll the ball to his feet. But no, he chose some weird little thing where he threw the ball just so ahead of him that he couldn't make it and went straight back to Crystal Palace. I was like, this is stupid. But the rest of the game, I thought Sanchez was great at the back. He had multiple crosses that he was good in the air for. Came out, either punched away strong, collected the cross, started out fast breaks really well. And then when it came to making saves, I thought his hands were really strong. He closed off space really well today. And apart from that goal that went in against us, I felt like he had a tremendous game. Still, I would still rather see Jorgensen, to be honest, despite Sanchez having good games. I just feel like with Sanchez, there's always going to be at least 1 or 2 passing errors in the game that puts us under pressure. And with Jorgensen, we just haven't seen that. Like I don't get nervous every time the ball gets back to Jorgensen. And it says a lot that even after Sanchez has good games, I would still rather see Jorgensen in goal. So sorry, Sanchez, it is what it is. But still, props to you. You had a good game this time. So, and then I know what people are going to be saying, like, does Cole Palmer need to come off if he's having bad touches here and there? And I just think he's one of those players where in a split second, he can change the game. He can get that key assist, that key second assist, that key run that leads to a goal, that worldy. I just don't think you can take him off. I'm sorry. And I just have not seen enough from João Felix in terms of finishing to say that he would be a good replacement to take off someone of Palmer's quality. So I don't think you can really blame him. I thought first half Palmer was by far our best creator. The number of times that he would get the ball in the middle and make the perfect weighted pass out to Jackson or to Neto or to Sancho. Yeah, I just don't see João Felix doing that. Unfortunately, João Felix has a mistake in him, and unfortunately, he's just not clinical in the final third, and he's never really shown that he can be clinical. So until we can see that on a consistent basis, I would say no matter how poor Palmer is, he's not a player that we can take off. It's him and Caicedo. Those are the 2 players that can never come off the field during any phase of the game because they are that impactful. But yeah, overall, so disappointing. I'm a little bit less devastated after this game than the last one. I thought the last one was just atrocious. But this one, at least we had a really good first half. We're showing that we can create chances. It's just, young team, they just need to learn how to close out games. And Maresca, my God, please start making substitutions before 80 minutes. Like, please. And I feel like if we can just get those 2 simple things done, then we can get back on track and feel safe in the top 4 again. So, see you guys after the next game. Peace.